Well, hello everyone. Welcome to this standalone episode of Unfriendly Banter, Game Week 12. Standalone episode more so because Shravan did another episode yesterday. Please go watch that if you haven't already. But for this episode, I only have one topic, and that is all around Liverpool Football Club. Well, I guess we begin with the numbers first. 12 game weeks done in the Premier League. The defending champions Liverpool stand in 12th position. 6 wins and 6 losses. We have lost 6 of our last 7 Premier League games. We sit below Everton for probably the first time in God knows how many years. We sit below Manchester United, who God knows how, but still managed to lose against a 10-man Everton team at home. But forget about it. They have their own problems. We have a lot more on our end. The title, so defense is already over. I want to say it's November, and we sit 9 points behind Premier League leaders Arsenal, who deservedly so have been incredibly consistent, incredibly dominant. They beat their North London like rivals Spurs hands down with an incredible Eberiche essay performance. Their summer signing actually working and providing for them in a crucial game that takes them on top. I want to say by 6 points, clearing Chelsea. Let's come back to Liverpool. The defending title champs spent 500 million plus, 450, 500, whatever you say, in the summer transfer window. We broke the British transfer record twice, signing players like Isak, Wirtz, Frimpong, Kirkes, Kitike, Mohamed Ashwili. We also let go of a few like players as well who were core to that as a team. But this is not about them. This is about where the team is right now. It's not even exaggerating to say that as a fan you are lost at where to start by analyzing how we have how we are 12th after 12 game weeks. Let's probably start with the team, right? The team that we are putting out there is unrecognizable, except for maybe 2 game weeks or maybe just one game against like Madrid, a 20-minute performance against Atletico Madrid, and maybe 30-minute performance against like Everton in our own derby. I don't think we are able to recognize this team from where they were last season, right? We are known for being like dominant on the ball. We are known for being dominant in our forward as a press. We are known for being loud in our home stadium. We are known to bring all of that like energy, physicality, and all of that brilliance of individual players week in, week out. For 6 weeks of the last 7 weeks, this team is looking even worse than a shadow of what it was last season. Where does it all start? You can start by naming individual players. Our superstar Salah has been worse than a shadow of like himself than what he was last year. PFA player of the year. So that's straight at the top. Our solid defense looks so terribly weak right now, starting with the likes of Konate not even sure what he's trying to do on the pitch at this point. Virgil is unable to turn it around. He's unable to do it all by himself. New signing Kirkes, who's part of the PL team of the year last year, doesn't seem to have fit in at all in this team. And on the right back, we are down to Soboslai playing at like right back. Midfield, probably one of the most consistent midfields last year across Europe, if I may, of Soboslai, McAllister, Gravenberg, really hasn't kicked into gear at all this season. And then in the attack, I don't think it will be an exaggeration to say we do not know the front three, except for Salah maybe, of what you can expect on a certain game week. We are seeing a mix of our new signing Wirtz, Ekitike, Isaac, Gakpo, maybe something else, right? So net, the form of the team itself has just like fallen off a cliff, if I may say so. Let's then come to Slot. Like I used to pray, or I have praised Slot on many of an occasions for what he used to do in game management, the team that he would put out there, the adjustments that he would make week in, week out. Lot of those things are just like lost at this point. If you go back to just the game against like Nottingham, whom we lost 0-3 at Anfield, we had, for the first time that I have ever seen, an Anfield crowd walk away before halftime. It just cannot get worse than this, I feel. I I said this, sorry, I say this literally scared of what we will show up in the midweek game or how we will show up in the weekend game, because it's just gone worst after worst after worst after worst for the yeah, Slot. Back to Slot, right? His tactics. He seems to have no clue. I don't think that there's any other way to like so put this. Drop in players form is like one thing, the manager influencing the game is another thing. Every time we are down, we are behind, it seems like he's just throwing the kitchen sink at it. The substitutions feel so predictable at this point. Bring in a Chiesa, bring in Rio, bring in Ekitike, start Isaac. No idea of what is going on or what is the plan, right? It almost feels like Slot puts the playing 11 and brings in the substitutes and is just like expecting them to just work, do your thing, score your goal. It looks so disconnected in the game against like in the game against so Forest. We probably started off well, if you can call that started off well compared to other shitty starts that we have had. Right after they scored the first goal, it just looked like we didn't have an answer. And it's crazy to think we didn't have an answer at Anfield. You could see there was like some sort of a weird like rotation happening between Jones and Soboslai on the right back. You see Gravenberg not understanding what he's like trying to do. McAllister trying to like push in. You had Gakpo in. And then you had like Isak, who hasn't started in a game in as a month, having 2 touches in the opposition box. Salah trying to do a bit of his like so runs, but you could see that the team isn't gelling one bit. Like there's no movement from like defense to mid to attack. There's no forward press. Liverpool's forward press right now starts and ends with Soboslai. And what was he doing at right back? I understand you have Bradley injured. I understand you have a Frimpong injured. You have Joe Gomez on the bench. Is it worth putting Soboslai on the right back when you know he is the one and only player that initiates the most important tactic that you need, which is your forward press? You saw that work so brilliantly against Real Madrid. And what are you doing trying to roll back on those tactics? I just have no words at this point. Liverpool cannot lose 6 games out of 7 in the Premier League. You cannot, this can't be your like 8th loss or like whatever it is at this point, right? And you have to now go back to so questioning every like bit of it. But the first change that you are thinking, or the first place that you want to point your like fingers to, is what's happening with Slot. I know like all the fans would like so put up with all the fans would want to go for his head, and at this point it is understandable. It is understandable folks pointing at Slot, but I also want to say you also have to point at the recruitment, right? I'm sure every one of us in the summer were going nuts with the signings that we made. Maybe all of this is happening in like hindsight, but maybe all of this is also happening in the fact of how these signings have been integrated, right? You have to go back to questioning like, was it really the right move to force fit each of these new signings right from game week 1? In game week 1, 4 of these 5 signings literally started for us, right? But anyway, where do we go from here? I don't know. It's crazy to say, but I don't think this is the worst of it. We will still have losses to endure. But probably the one thing that I hope that happens right after this is the team mentality shows up. I want to see a Virgil van Dijk put his hands up, which he has in like conferences, but on the pitch to say this is not Liverpool FC, we need to be better than this. I want to see a Salah say I have to be like better than this. I want to see the new signings being taken a step back and now start from square one and slowly start integrating them. You have to treat this as your season starts now, right? You cannot just do the same every week in and week out, change the team, change the starting formation, bring in your 150 million signings and expect it to naturally work. It hasn't worked for 12 game weeks. You have had a preseason, you have had 12 game weeks. So you have to change. Something Liverpool have to go to square one. Slot must hit the reset button. Yeah. Uh, where do we go from here? It's a world of pain, my fellow Liverpool fans. Be prepared for even worse things to happen if things couldn't get worse than this. There is no other way than we take this one game week at a time, right? Or one match at a time. Champions League, maybe put out the same team consistently. Maybe listen for once, bring in someone as passionate as Chiesa into the starting 11. Just play Ekitike and bring in Isaac because that guy is scoring. At least he looks like he will do something on the pitch, right? And start from square one, basically. But anyway, yeah, to wrap this up, yeah, I think it's a collection of multiple things going wrong at the same time, and the only way to come out of this is for everyone in the club, from the players to the coaches to the owners to the fans, to unfortunately just be patient. You have to build this one step at a time. You have to treat one issue at a time. You cannot change everything at once, and probably that is what is going wrong with the club at this point. I think Slot and the team are just trying to change everything all at once. It cannot happen that way. Like, trust the core that is working. And the core that is working for us is our forward press of Soboslai, Gravenberg, McAllister. Build the team around that. Have Van Dijk and like Konate. If he isn't performing, maybe it's time to bring in Gomez as the center back. Do some change to what is not working rather than like putting out the same and trying things to work. I think we have to build from our core of as midfield. Maybe a drastic change of dropping Salah for a few more games, bringing in a Chiesa who at least looks passionate every time he's on the field. He's going for that second ball, he's going for that push. You have to do something like this. If this continues, I don't think it would be a slot like a Christmas for Arnie slot, and you cannot even say anything about that sedition at this point. To my fellow LFC fans, you can only hope that this too shall pass. You can only hope that we all never walk alone in this terrible, terrible situation that we are in this season. Hang tight. Hopefully, this too shall pass. See you all.